Hello all, we are here for the lesson number 17 of the VariCAD training course. This lesson is called Transforming to the Objects. In this lesson we are going to continue to see some addition functions of the program, and in this particular case we are going to be able to see a set of commands to transform entities to the entities as we've been seeing until now. This transformation to the objects allow you to change objects, location, scale, translation, copy or rotation. And the philosophy to work with these commands is to define transformation parameters first and then apply or perform the transformation dynamically after. Okay, so basically the concept is the same for all the commands. So let us see the differences and the functions we want to see in this lesson. We are going to concentrate our attention on the menu edit and on the sub option transform. So we are going to see the commands here in this menu. Okay, first I want to create some shapes. I will start by a simple shape, a rectangle, and we are going to see what can we do with these options inside the transform. So the first command is translate or copy to the objects. So the philosophy to work with these commands, most of them is, as I told before, first to define the transformation and then to select the objects to transform. In this particular case of this command, what the program asks from us now is the translation vector. Okay, so I just need to supply to the program 2 points that show the program the vector, and I can select a source point, for example, and end point. Okay, so the vector will be from this point here to this point here. Okay, now when the vector is known by the software, it shows me what is the distance between these 2 points, and if I want to make a move or a copy, I will start by a move and then we'll make the same and see a copy working. So move, okay, and now select the objects. We've seen in the past, in the previous lesson, that the rectangle, when it is done, it creates a polyline. Okay, that's why when I try to select the rectangle, it acts as one single entity. So select the rectangle. When I'm okay with the selection, I do OK. And as you can see, the vector was from here to here. So done. I will go back and I will go to the same command, because in this option what I did, it was, okay, again the vector from here to here. What I did was a move, and the particular thing to know about move or copy is when I move, I grab my original object or objects and I change them from one place to the other. That's what I've done. If I do a copy, I can ask for the number of copies. For example, I will not give any number of copies now, so that there is no noise in this command. For a copy, the way to work with this is exactly the same, but the end, it is the original entity is copied by a new one. Okay, that is the difference between the move and the copy. If I work with that functionality of the number of copies, let us try again. Okay, vector again. Copy, I can give, for example, 3 copies, and what it happens is objects and OK. So 3 copies. The original is not considered one of the entities, so besides the original, 1, 2, 3 copies. Okay, very easy to work with, so I think it's a very cool function. So seeing the second command is the dynamic translate. The dynamic translate is quite interesting because first it will ask me, do I want to delete the original objects, yes or no? In this case, yes. So objects, enter. What is the insertion point? It can be any point. Okay, I will catch the object by the same. So this, and now on a dynamic real time, I have the objects with my cursor, and I can place them where I want. Okay, the difference from the dynamic to the what we can call the standard way is that I don't need to give any vector. Okay, I can grab something and put it where I want. It's very cool. So next function is rotate or copy. The principle is the same, okay, as this one, translate or copy, rotate or copy. So we are going to see only about the rotate, but the principle is the same. So center of rotation, let us rotate this rectangle here, and I can use one of my functions halfway between points to give the center of the rectangle. So I will give this first point of the diagonal, second point, and okay, it grabbed me the center of the rectangle. And now again, move or copy, rotation angle positive against the clock movement, or negative on the clock movement. So I will say, for example, 45 degrees and okay with a move. Okay, select the objects and do enter in the end, and that's it. Okay, very, very, very easy. Next option, it is again following the same philosophy, is the dynamic rotate. Again, the first question, delete or not the original objects, yes again. Objects to rotate, enter, center of rotation, I will say that is the same point halfway the diagonal. Reference point in this case can be whatever you want. Okay, I will say that the direction is this one, and new reference, now dynamic. Okay, very, very easy also. Next option, there is something that it will mix both functions, translate and rotate. Okay, delete original, yes again. So objects to rotate or translate, this one, and enter. First reference point, I will say again the diagonal. Okay. Okay. So now it grabbed me by the diagonal. So second reference point, I would say from to this direction. Now new location of the first reference point, I can say, for example, here, and I will say that now I will not have this horizontal line, angular line without knowing the angle, but it doesn't matter for the example. Okay, so you see that besides translating, it executes a rotation on the entities. Very, very nice also. Next one, it is a function called scale. And the scale, I will put this in the middle of my screen. It's very easy to understand, because basically I just need to give a scale center, and it can be any. For example, I will give the same, I will supply the diagonal on a different way, but the exact same point. Again, the option move or copy, and the scale 2. The scale 2, it wants to mean that these entities, considering this as the 0, it will be in the end with the double of the size. Okay, so these guys here, and that's it. Let us see, still on the scale for your understanding. Halfway, okay. And now I will give, if I give 1 is the exact same size that we had when we start the command, but we can give values from 0 to 1, and considering below 1, it's something that will decrease the size of things. So, for example, if I say 0.5, the idea is to make entities with half of the size of this, so 0.5 half. So, okay, the entities are these guys, so half of the size. So, very, very easy, but very powerful and very useful for some applications. Next function is again the dynamic scale. The question you already know, delete or not the original objects. Objects to scale, scaling center, again, halfway. And now scaling reference point. For example, this guy here, a new reference point now, okay, considering that guy. So it is scale by reference. So next command, it is the stretch, and the stretch is something very powerful also. Basically, we want to open a window. Let us start again because I've made a mistake. So stretch. So let us grab these guys here. Stretching reference point, it can be any, but I will say, for example, a guy outside of the entities. And now you can see that things can stretch. Okay, I can control these. For example, at this moment I could give something that says, okay, 20 on X and 0 on Y. So very good. Back to cursor. Okay, something like this. Next option, there is something very nice, and I think I would need some other kind of entity. I will delete this rectangle. I will make a circle, which is easier to show you. So, transform RotateCopy. RotateCopy. Select relative origin, so I would say center of this. Okay. I would say that the direction for the rows, for the columns, okay, and now number of columns. So I would say, for example, 3 or better 4, and it would say 3 for these guys here. So, and the objects are these ones, and okay. So what it made me, it is, you can see that following the directions I supply, and those 2 points, the first one, the origin, and the final point, it marked me the distance and it marked me the direction in both axes. And on the dialog box, I was able to give the information about number of rows, 4 in this case, and 3 on the columns. So let's try to make a new one still with a circle, so that you can see a little better the options in this command. So RotateCopy, origin I can say here, Now, instead of just clicking on the screen, I want to control, and let us say that I want every 50 millimeters, for example. So the X, I would say 50 on X. This one I don't want anything, so enter. Now I want a direction also following the Y-axis, and I would say again the relative ones, 0, and in this case I want, for example, 30. Okay, a little smaller. And again, the rows I want 6, and the columns I want 4. So, okay, and now select what I want to select, and that's it. Okay, very, very cool commands. So let us make again a new rectangle and seeing the next option, which is the mirror. And the mirror has several options. So the first one is a normal mirror, and I can say delete original objects or not and define mirror axis. Okay, so mirror axis, it can be it should be entity. So I would say this guy here, for example, and now I will select the entities to mirror. And what it does, it considers this as the axis, and it make me like you were seeing yourself on a mirror. So I think it's easy to understand. But let us make something a little different. So mirror, I want to define the mirror axis, okay, and I can say a point, or I will use this line here, and objects, this one. So what it made me, if you can see, it considered this line a mirror axis, and these guys here looking at the mirror, it will project them on the other side at the exact same distance, every point. Okay, so it's very good when you need to, in some areas, to make, for example, a left part and a right part. Okay, you have other possibilities with this mirror command, which are, for example, you can delete the original objects, so you will keep only the final mirror image, or make a non-isotropic mirroring, and you can give a scale. So let us try, for example, 1.5, and say first point of mirror, second point, objects are these guys here, and you can see that looking in the mirror, now it made a little different, let's open this, it made a little different mirror because it will make a non-isotropic mirror for the same size and considering a different scale. So this has other possibilities, but at least you can see it as an option to work with, okay? But I would say that the first function is more likely to be used by you. Last option in this set of commands is the offset. And the offset has a lot of possibilities. Basically, we can define the offset as a way to make parallel entities, okay? So, there are several things we can use here. Let us try to see all the options. First, let us make an offset at a distance, which is the more common option. And I will do it using a single line, arc, or NURBS curve, okay? Offset distance can use, for example, 10, and to start just one copy. So, okay. So, I can use this line from which to which side out, okay, 10 millimeters away, okay? It was the first option. I will delete this one. We have other possibilities with this command. Let us try to explore this. I could use, for example, 3 copies, and then, okay, segment again, outside, 3 copies, 10 millimeters away from each other. Let's back undo. See more options in this command. Let us put again 1. And now let us try, still at a distance, but trying temporarily integrated polyline. Even that you don't have a polyline, but we can start and choose entities that are connected so that it can be understood as a polyline. So these are the same. So okay, first contour is this guy. I want to use this direction, and the side that the contour will follow is outside. So next click with the left, next click with the left, and I'm okay. Just these 3. Now I will make enter with my right mouse button. Okay, the offset side will be out again, and that's it. Okay, very, very nice. You can see that it's not a polyline, but because I need to select all the 3 without individually. So another possibility with the offset is selected polyline, if I really have a polyline still at a distance. So this is a polyline, okay? So if I say, okay, select as a polyline, so it will understand it as a polyline. So outside, and that's it. Very easy. There are other possibilities inside this command, and one of those is, okay, single line. We can make an offset without being at a distance through a point. And through a point, we have always the possibility, the number of copies, but basically select a segment, okay, and select a point. I can select a point, for example, in the middle. So you can see that the projection will go into the middle of this one. So it's another possibility to work with this. There is still another possibility, which is the dragging of selected elements. Okay, can give a step and so on, but let us try to use it as easy as possible. So a segment, okay, here, 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 here. Okay, so this incremental one, it's another possibility, even that I prefer that use this command coming and make the number of copies or whatever. I prefer personally, okay? To end this, I still have another function that I would like to show you, but to call this function, I need to write in the command line the DST option that it will invoke this command. So when I say this DST enter, I have these 3 possibilities that basically are the same, so I will show you just one. And this is a possibility to make stretches, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. So let us try the horizontal one. You must notice that this is something that will make a stretch along a defined direction, or it's the same to say by 2 points. It can be done only on lines because the other objects, if present on the choice, will be just moved, not stretched. So we'll try to make it on this rectangular here, even that the result in this case of the horizontal stretch, it will be quite similar to the option inside the menu. So we can give a dividing line, which is the point where the objects are stretched. So I will say that this is the line to where my entities are splitted for the stretch, even that they don't physically change. Side it's this one, and the object is this guys here. So enter, and now stretching point, I can give this guy, and it is stretching, okay? To see a little better, we can try to make something a little different. Let us try something a little different. Okay. Okay, and let us try to do it again. So DST, enter, horizontal stretch, dividing line, for example here, side, this side, and objects, this and this. So first point, so you see that that is the point to start stretching and to enlarge these objects, okay? So with these commands, I think the lesson number 17, it is finished. I hope all topics were clear, and I like to see you in my next lesson, the lesson number 18.